Hello, I'm Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal, double gold medalist in political science, working as reader in political science. Today welcomes students to a very fundamental concept of political science, which is liberty or freedom. Today's video is related with the meaning of liberty in general and its negative meaning as well as positive meaning. This video is a detailed video on the topic liberty, especially its meaning in general and its negative meaning as well as its positive meaning. So, my dear students, if you will attentively watch this video relating to liberty, I have full confidence that students will be clear totally the meaning of liberty and its negative meaning as well as positive meaning. I request my students to subscribe my channel so that in future relevant videos relating to political science will be available to students and students will be benefited. And this video relating to liberty will be very much useful to plus 2, plus 3 and those students who are appearing competitive examinations as well as post-graduation examinations. Okay? So we will start. Very good. So, first of all, take off. What is liberty? What liberty means? What actually liberty speaks or what it means to people? After we will be clear about the meaning of liberty, then we will take off what is liberty in negative way and what is liberty in positive way. So, first of all, take off what is liberty. But before we discuss what is liberty, we must know a few lines about the importance of liberty, because it is the instinct of a human being, it is the nature of a human being that always he takes interest to know about a particular thing which has some significance. Anything which has significance or importance, everybody will be interested to know about that. So it is the human instinct. So before we discuss what is liberty, we must know first of all a few lines about the importance of liberty. So what importance liberty possesses or what importance liberty has? About liberty, it is said that it is better to die fighting for liberty than to be a prisoner for all time to come in the life. It means it will be better if we will die for fighting for the sake of liberty than to be a prisoner always in the life. It means liberty is very much essential for the human beings. Without liberty, people cannot lead a better life. They cannot lead a human life. Rather, they will lead a life of a slave or the life of a prisoner. So, human beings must have liberty. Without liberty, their life will be meaningless. Their life will be like a slave or a beast. Or you can say their life will be a cursed life. So liberty is very much essential for the human life. Liberty is so much important that in the past there were many revolutions for the liberty, and at present also people are not prepared to sacrifice liberty. So liberty is very much essential for human beings. Without liberty, life of a human beings will not be a life of human beings. Rather, it is a life of a beast. So, to make human life meaningful, to make human life a better one, liberty is absolutely necessary. So, what is liberty? Liberty means it has come from the Latin word liber. Liber means freedom. It means whenever people are free to perform what they like, or whenever people are free to act as they wish, it is known as liberty. Liberty means when people are free to act in any way they like, or when people are free to perform any work they like, it is known as liberty. In liberty, there will not be any restriction, there will not be any restraints, there will not be any interference in the life of a person. Liberty means free human beings. They can go anywhere, they can speak anything, they can perform any work. So whenever people are free from any type of interferences, whenever people are free from any type of restraints, it is known as liberty. So liberty makes the life of a human being meaningful. So liberty means a free human being. So you are clear about the meaning of liberty. Now we'll see. Liberty has two meanings. One is its negative meaning, other one is its positive meaning. liberty has two meanings. One is its negative meaning, other one is its positive meaning. The negative meaning of liberty has been originated in the 17th and 18th century. And supporters of negative liberty were Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Edmund Burke, J.S. Mill, Herbert Spencer, Tom Paine, Tocqueville, Adam Smith, Isaiah Berlin, and Milton Friedman. These scholars were the blind supporters of negative liberty. So, what is negative liberty? Negative liberty means people will not have any restriction. There will not be any restriction in the life and in the activities of human beings by state or society or any other person. So, negative liberty means whenever people will not have any restrictions, they will be totally free. They will perform any work, they will act in any ways. There will not be any type of restrictions. Restrictions will not be allowed. Restrictions will be totally absent in the negative world. And John Stuart Mill has told that in the negative liberty, people will be totally free. So he told, over himself, over his own body, over his own mind, people are sovereign. So John Stuart Mill has told that in the negative liberty, there will not be any type of restrictions, there will not be any type of interferences in the life of people. They are like free birds. And he told that people perform two types of activities. He told people generally perform two types of activities. One is self-regarding activities, other one is the other regarding activities. In the daily human life, people perform two types of work. One is self-regarding, other one is other regarding. Self-regarding means there are some activities which people perform for themselves. By these activities, others will not be affected. Self-regarding means there are certain activities where other people will not be affected. Interest of other people will not be in problem. It affects only the self. So, J.S. Mill has told, whenever people will performing something for themselves, other will not be affected. In that sphere, there will not be any type of interferences either by the state or society or individual. It means whenever people will perform something for themselves and by these activities other people will not be affected or interest of other people will not be in problem, in that sphere there will not be any type of interferences. There will not be any type of restraints. People can think in any way they like. people can decide anything for themselves? No one can speak anything. It's self-regarding activities. So, James Mill has told that there are certain activities which people are performing for themselves. In that activities, no one can say anything. There will not be any restraints. There will not be any restrictions. There will not be any interferences. But another word is other regarding. Whenever people perform something by which others will be affected, interests of other people will be in problem, at that time there will be restrictions. Or whenever people will perform some work, people will carry on some work by which other people will be affected, at that time in that sphere there may be restrictions. So Mill has told that human activities are two types. One is self-regarding, other one is the other regarding. When in the sphere of self-regarding activities there will not be any restriction. In the sphere of other regarding activities there will be restrictions. This is the idea of James Mill about the conception of liberty, and he is a blind supporter of liberty. He loves so much to liberty that once a person told that no knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, no knight or fighter ever run after a lady with greater vigor or interest than Mill after liberty. It speaks how James Mill was a blind supporter of liberty. And about negative liberty, Isaiah Berlin once told in nice way that negative liberty means it is an area where there will not be any interferences in the activities of a person. In an area where there will be no restraints, no restrictions, that is a negative liberty. So negative liberty means whenever there will not be any restrictions, there will not be any interferences, people will be totally free. But this type of liberty is not possible in the civilized world. This type of liberty will not be recognized by a civil society. It may be possible in a forest, or it may be possible in an uninhabited island. Because in the civilized society, there will be some restrictions. If people will be given full freedom, then there will not be any disciplined life. So, negative liberty will not be allowed in a civilized society. There will be some restrictions. So it is said that my arms will swing up to that from where other person's nose will start. It means we will enjoy liberty in such a manner by which others' liberty will not be in problem. We will lead our life in such a way by which life of other people will not be in problem. So, negative liberty will not be possible in a civilized world. If in the civilized world there will be negative liberty, people will be given absolute freedoms, disciplined life will be destroyed. So you are clear about the negative meaning of liberty. But what is positive meaning of liberty? Positive meaning of liberty has been originated in the second part of 19th century. And supporters of positive liberty are Rousseau, T.S. Green, Lasky, Hegel, Bosanquet, Barker, C.B. Macpherson and Clinton Rochester. These scholars were the supporters of positive liberty. Positive liberty means in the life of people there will be some reasonable restrictions. People will not be allowed to perform what they like, to carry on what they wish. There will be some positive restrictions on them. There will be some reasonable restrictions on them. The positive liberty means in the liberty of people, there must be some reasonable restrictions. There must be some good restrictions. Or there will be some restrictions in the interest of society, in the interest of other people's freedoms. So positive liberty means people should enjoy their freedoms in such a way that freedoms of other people, interest of society, culture of society will not be hampered, will not be affected. So for the interest of society, for the interest of other people's freedom, restrictions can be imposed on the freedoms of others. To make it more clear, positive liberty means people should enjoy their liberty in such a manner that liberty of other people will not be in problem. People enjoy their life without hampering the life of other people. It is known as positive liberty. So Lasky has told that positive liberty means people will be given that type of atmosphere where they can express their best selves. It means people will be given such an environment by which they can show their better performance. And positive liberty has mainly 4 ingredients. Number 1, in positive liberty, there will not be absence of restraints. Restrictions will not be totally zero. There will be restrictions. There will be restraints. Number 2, presence of reasonable restrictions, good restrictions. Number 3, absence of unreasonable restrictions. And number 4, good environment for the enjoyment of life. So positive liberty means there will not be total absence of restraints. Restrictions will not be totally zero. Number 2, there will be restrictions. It must be reasonable. And number 3, there will not be inhuman restraints unreasonable restrictions. And number 4, there must be a good atmosphere in the society where people can develop. People must be provided a good environment to make advancement. So, positive liberty means people will be given freedoms, but on these freedoms there will be restrictions on in the interest of society, in the interest of freedoms of other people. It means people should enjoy their liberty without affecting the interest of society, without affecting the culture of society, without affecting the similar freedoms of other people. And this positive freedom, positive liberty is recognized by the civilized society. You may go to any part of the world, you may go to any nation of the world, everywhere you will find there is a recognition to positive liberty. In every society, people are given freedoms in such a way that they will not affect the freedoms of others as well as the interest of society. So in this video we are clear about the meaning of liberty. In addition with it, its negative meaning and its positive meaning. So my dear students, I am clear. I have full confidence that my students are totally clear, will get a lot of good informations relating to liberty. I think this video will be very much useful for the students who are concentrating their study on liberty, its positive meaning and negative meaning. Okay, my students, again we will be here in another video with a relevant topic. Thank you to all. Goodbye to all. Smile please. Thank you to all.